Now, that's so good. Leaving the room better than the way that you found it. And I think that everybody could take that and really apply it to almost every sphere of your life. You know, it's a level of stewardship, it's a level of gratitude that's expressed there. And we're going to touch on the mindset. But before I do, you mentioned been working for about 3 weeks, and
Mhm.
I definitely want to tap into that. Now, let's talk about a day in your life. I know it's just started. I know you went through training and things like that.
Mhm.
Now that you're working in the field, can you talk about a day in the life of Emory as an SDR?
Yeah. So I'm still in training because our training is 30 days. So as I'm still training and onboarding, my days are going to look a little bit different than maybe when I get like started, on my own. But yeah, days are waking up. I try to make sure to have a moment of, I have mindfulness meditation, whatever you want to call it. My day specifically starts wrangling my 4-year old and helping my wife get him off to preschool. And then I sit down and, like I said, I try to have just time to breathe and think about what I'm getting myself into. And I don't say that in a negative way, but just kind of preparing. This is, meeting on top of meeting, meetings back to back, lunch. What am I going to even eat? What am I going to snack on? How much coffee am I going to drink today? Because if I'm not careful, I'll drink too much. But I
Mm,
try to have a little bit of time to just kind of refocus, recalibrate. And then typically starting with meetings right now, I've learned a lot about the company. I've learned a lot about the role. And now we're starting to just do little things like, uh, you know, I want to say playing around, but playing around is a flippant phrase. Learning the CRM and learning what good CRM hygiene looks like, and how to stay organized and things of that nature. And so we're doing a lot of that, and then usually have a couple of call blocks throughout the day. I'm moving so much slower on the phones than I thought I would, because I thought it was just going to be a blitz. But because I'm so new to it, like 2 days new, I'm still very much so like, okay, did I hang the phone up before I take a breath? So I'm like, what? Click, click. Okay, it's off. It's off. Moving on to the next task. But now I'm putting my notes in, and so right now for me, there's still a lot of self-discovery in that. How am I going to get this to where I can blitz through it a little quicker? Not to say I'm trying to blitz past people, but I want to see my numbers get up. And then typically more meetings, another call block, more meetings. And then the young lady who's training us right now, she usually gives us a recap of the next day, which I love. She just kind of goes over the next day or maybe next 2 days. And then she says my favorite phrase: close your computer, go take a walk, don't think about work again. And let me tell you something, my brother. I do that. I
yes,
do it. I do it.
you and
And
me both.
yeah, that's it. I mean, it is. Yeah, I know it's probably a simplified version, but that's about it.
No, that's great. And I think that you actually gave me another question because I could really kind of sense this with you.
Hmm.
You could you talk about the difference from not working in tech,
Hmm.
even though you've been there for a few days or a couple of weeks, I should say, to now working in tech? How different of an environment are those two areas from your past work experience to where you're working now?
I'm gonna say a phrase that I may have put on LinkedIn, but I don't think I put it on any other social media because I don't want the people to come at me, because they'll come at you, right, bro? Um, I have found more kindness, generosity, and just the sense of welcoming
Hmm.
in the tech space more so than I ever did in the church space. That is not to say there were not people that were very instrumental in helping me, my other, and not just church, but when I was working in the school system as well. But let me tell you something. The way these people take care of you is wild. I would say that when I started hearing about what an SDR was, I thought, oh, that's just kind of a little peon role. Nobody cares. You get in there and you struggling, and they're just
Hmm.
kind of like, oh, well, that's your job, whatever. And then I get into this space where they're sending you all of this stuff. And I mean, I got like a swag package.
Yeah.
And did it bring a tear to my eye? Yes, it did, because I felt seen. I felt
Yeah.
taken care of. I felt valued. But that, I think that is the biggest difference, is that there's so much value added by just accepting the role. And then you get into it. And not only is there value added into this role, they're like, hey, and you can put this much work in, and then your possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
So there are all these branches and avenues that you could take, but then they messed around and they have roadmaps to it. And they're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
you do it this way and you do. So I think the biggest difference is just the sense of value that it makes me see in myself. So when I wake up, I'm like, wow, dude, you did this. Like you pivoted at 39 years old when during a pandemic still may not be the height of it, but like during the pandemic, during an economic recession, when everyone is like, if you quit your job, don't let Beyonce tell you to quit your job because you're an idiot. You pivoted, you resigned, but you didn't just resign a job that wasn't working for you. You pivoted into something else. That this job helps me see that.
Mm.
Mandated, strongly suggested mental health walks, moments to regather yourself.
Yeah.
What?
Mm.
I didn't get that in my old life, professional life.
Not at all.
Yeah, so I just think the sense of value in being, but also there's so much thought that has gone into, and I know every company is going to be different. Maybe startups are still working on these things, but don't discount just I guess just the awesome opportunities you have in this realm, because there's so much attention to detail. There has to be, and they've really just paved out and really traced out some great opportunities. And so, yeah, I go into it feeling very valued and very prepared every day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Even when I don't know what I'm going to say when a receptionist answers the phone, and
Of
I'm like,
course.
oh no, what hello? Did you answer? But yeah, I feel prepared. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I love that my manager says, she always says this, especially because the imposter syndrome can show itself in other ways than just kind of looking down on yourself. Sometimes it could be an overachieving. And she was like, hey, be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. And that's one of the things that I really kind of admire, is that in tech, there's a different type of mindset about it's okay. Yeah, we're going to work, but we're also going to take care of ourselves and take care
Mhm.
of our people and our family. So with that being said, talking about mindset, what would you say the mindset for someone needs to be in order for them to not only get to where you are, but to scale from there?
Man, it's gonna be cliche, but you definitely have to have a growth mindset.
Mhm.
Been talking to one of my guys on LinkedIn, Alex, and he mentioned it to me. It wasn't the first time anyone had ever mentioned it to me, but yeah, the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. Just not seeing this like this as being it. There's so much
Mm.
past this, you know. And one of the other guys that I'm really just really thankful for in the LinkedIn community, Riley. He just recently spoke about that. Like your past is your past, and
Mm.
let's not like worry about it or get hung up on it. And it made me think like something so simple as the last call you just hung up. That's your past now. Move on.
Yep.
Right. And you're going to learn from all of those things, of course, right? Your interactions with coworkers, whatever, but you're moving on. And just, I think the growth mindset is the biggest thing. Just knowing that there's something different and that you yourself can explore these different avenues and these different things and have these different conversations. And you don't have to be so limited and boxed in. And I know a lot of us were taught that, find that thing and just be good at that thing. But I disagree. I think that you have to find those things and get good at those things. And it takes hard work, yes. But the biggest thing is having the mindset to say, oh, I can do that.
Mhm.
You're not
Yeah.
stuck where you are.
Yeah. You're
So the
not
growth
stuck.
mindset is, yeah, you're not stuck. So
Mhm.
the growth mindset is the biggest thing.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's fantastic. The growth mindset is the biggest thing. And so if you're listening to this and you're saying to yourself, well, I don't think I could do X, Y, and Z. I don't think I could get into tech sales or even do digital marketing or forget IT, man, work with computers. Like, I don't think I can do it. Listen to us here today. You have to challenge yourself to grow and be better than you were yesterday. Yesterday's gone. Today I'm in need, right? As a song would say.
Yep.
And so right now, I encourage you, whether it's course careers that you decide to go through tech sales, if you decide to do digital marketing, if you decide to do IT, we have a program for you that we could attest to has literally changed both of our lives. And
Yes.
so And so this has been a great conversation. I might have Emery back again so we can follow up and see how things are looking a year or 2 years from now as he's grown. So I think this is going to be a great conversation to do a recap on. And again, this has been great. So thank you, Emery, for taking the time.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No problem, man. Until next time, everybody, I hope to see you on the other side. Take care, family.